Eddie released a very important shareholder letter for Alibaba. So this is going to lead us to the future of Alibaba's true potential. If they do this right, we can see the growth rates return to Alibaba. This letter is actually very key because it tells you everything going on in Alibaba and what to expect. So let's get into this letter because we are still very bullish on Alibaba and we have to talk about what is going on. Year to date, Alibaba stock hasn't been doing too bad, which is kind of surprising because China has been in the news for all the wrong things. Alibaba's around 36 to like 38% up year to date, which isn't bad. And remember, there's still a lot of like bad news around China. So for Alibaba to actually be up still, it's kind of surprising realistically because we know Trump and the USA is like tied to the China's market. If the USA talks bad about China, the market goes down and the uncertainty, no one wants to invest. Taiwan and it's going to take over. So all that comes forward when Donald Trump talks bad about China. So no one's going to invest in China. All the money is coming from the US stockholders. So we see the flows from the US just leaving China. So that is just a super big headwind for Alibaba. But they're fighting back because we know they're buying back shares. They're releasing special dividends. They're giving us dividends on top of that. They're doing a lot to fight back that pressure of just the outflows of the Chinese market. So we're just gonna have to sit back still and just believe that the Chinese market is gonna come back because you still see the Hong Kong market, just the K-Web, not doing as strong as like the other markets like the S&P 500, which has just been on a tear for the last like 5 years. So let's get into what this letter kind of holds and what we can see for the future of Alibaba. As we go through this letter, you got to remember that Alibaba is trading at around 15 PE, forward PE around 11. So we know this company is trading very cheap compared to any other company, especially they're doing AI, they're doing cloud. Like companies doing that type of thing are not trading at these ridiculously low valuations. And we still have the e-commerce business, the international business. We still have Ant Financial. They're all their Alibaba investments into different companies. Alibaba has so much going for it that this valuation seems kind of ridiculous. And then we have the strategy of the CEO. And this is super key for the future of Alibaba, especially if you're a shareholder of Alibaba, because he lays out everything for you. This year, we focus on our two core businesses, e-commerce and AI plus cloud, which are the twin engines powering our long-term growth. With AI at the heart of the future, we significantly increase investments in cloud computing and AI infrastructure to accelerate innovation and drive the industrial adoption of AI technologies. And guys, they have been investing so much money into AI and the cloud computing and just infrastructure. Have to have this view of Alibaba that these investments are going to pay off in the future. We're going to see the cash flow actually come in maybe 2027, 2028, as these investments really take dominance into these different industries. We also made disciplined moves to streamline our portfolio, including divestiture of non-core assets such as Sonar and InTime. Meanwhile, we steadily improved operating efficiencies across internet platform businesses. So this is another key aspect of what I really love about the progress of Alibaba is they're getting rid of all the inefficiencies of what's going on in Alibaba. They're reducing the employee account, all the stuff on ground that they don't need anymore, just getting rid of it. They actually talked about they're actually getting rid of like their supermarket kind of division, or they're kind of not doing as much of it. So that's all a good sign because they're trying to be more focused on the future and what Alibaba's true potential is. And they're talking about all their divisions are going to become profitable soon. So that just goes to show you how they're working and how they're seeing things, as they're trying to get out of that sphere of just investing and just like losing money in all of these sections, because they kind of built the ground already for all these businesses to become profitable now. Over the next decade, AI is expected to reshape every industry. At Alibaba, we are investing aggressively in AI infrastructure and frontier innovations to enhance global competitiveness and generate long-term business momentum. Guys, they have a lot of infrastructure going into Malaysia, in the Philippines, in South Korea. So they're not just saying this, like they're actually putting their money where their mouth is, and they're seeing this future. Guys, we're seeing all these like NVIDIAs and all these AI plays and all these different industries just using AI to become more efficient. China is still on the brink of this. Like, they haven't even adopted AI like AWS and Microsoft. Like, the North America market is more kind of like established. Like, China is just getting into this, and especially Southeast Asia as well. So there's so much room for growth, and that's how I can see the future of Alibaba taking place very good. Alibaba Cloud in our core business that has driven by AI benefited from the surging AI demand. Public cloud revenue accelerated, in revenue from AI-related products posted triple-digit growth for 7 straight quarters, pushing overall revenue to double-digit growth for the fiscal year. Guys, imagine Alibaba growing the business. Like the cloud market can generate that 10-15% growth for the Alibaba business as cloud becomes a bigger part of Alibaba's revenue. Like, that can really happen in the next 5 years. So, like, this is not a crazy thing to think about Alibaba getting back to 10-50% double-digit growth, top line and bottom line. Like, that is not a crazy thing to think about for Alibaba. We distributed $4 billion in annual special dividends for the fiscal year 2024 and have announced a total of $4.6 billion in dividends for fiscal year 2025. We repurchased 11 billion of our shares, which resulted in a 5.1% net reduction in total outstanding shares. And that's driving basically earnings per share. So guys, Alibaba is doing the right things with our money. They're giving us dividends, they're giving us share buybacks. Like, what else do we want from Alibaba at this point? We just need them to just perform and just give us what we need from the cloud division and the e-commerce division. And we know the government is doing everything in their power to kind of get people to spend more money. So I'm just don't understand how people are not bullish in the direction that China is going. I know US is hating China. That's the only kind of headwind, but the bullishness in the next 5 years of China is going to turn out, in my opinion, very good. In 2025, we announced that our planned investment in cloud and AI infrastructure over the next 3 years will exceed the total investments made in the past decade. So guys, our capital expenditure for Alibaba, we're not going to see this huge free cash flow because that's all going into the cloud, AI adoption, in the infrastructure. So we're hopefully going to see this free cash flow kind of build up, play out in the next couple of years, because they're doing a lot of CapEx and they're projecting all of this infrastructure is all this AI adoption and cloud is gonna pay off into the future. So that's what we're gonna have to look out for. And you have to believe this cloud development is gonna play out very effectively in China and Southeast Asia. For you to actually still be in Alibaba and still hold shares, you have to believe in this vision. So if you don't, I understand why you probably sold, or if you're not seeing enough progress in the share price, you're probably sold out. But we're just thinking about the business and what the business can do. If you truly believe in this, I can see like this stock has potential to double, triple, man. Like, if you believe in what Alibaba is doing and if people are gonna respect the company and actually give it a proper multiple. So guys, what do you think about this video? Like and subscribe.